If you can have your deputy, okay, your deputy to start.
Officer Paul, can you turn on your audio and your video? State's ready, young.
Just waiting for the inmate to come forward. All right, Mrs. Thurston, we are about to start your preliminary hearing. All right, now calling the matter of State of Georgia versus, I have Thurston King Lamel David. I'm not sure of that order, but Thurston King Lamel David, charged in warrant number 2025 WA 75084, tampering with evidence, 2025 WA 75085, aggravated assault, 2025 WA 75086, discharge of a firearm near a freeway, 2025 WA 75091, aggravated assault, 2025 WA 75092, aggravated assault, 2025 WA 75094, criminal damage in the second degree, 2025 WA 75095, criminal damage in the second degree. Representing the state is ADA Thomas. Representing the defendant is Attorney Max Short. ADA Thomas, your witness.
Officer Paul, could you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm that the evidence you shall give before the court today shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
So help me God.
Put your hand down. State your name for the record.
I'm Robert Paul.
And how are you employed?
Clayton County Police Department.
And were you so employed on or about April the 10th of 2025?
Yes, ma'am.
And on that date, were you assigned to investigate a matter that occurred at Winding Way Lane at Washington Circle?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that within the confines of the city of Jonesboro, Clayton County?
Yes, ma'am.
And did that matter involve David Thurston King Lemuel?
Yes, ma'am.
And what account occurred on that date involving Mr. Lemuel at that location?
Say that again.
What occurred on April the 10th involving Mr. King Lemuel at that location?
A drive-by shooting.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Just for the record, if I could just help the record here. My client's, and I know it's no one's fault. My client's name is King Thurston, just for the record. So his last name is Thurston.
So his last name is Thurston, and his first name is King?
Yes, it's King Lemuel Thurston.
Where's the David part? That's not a part of
I believe that's a middle name.
So his last name is Thurston, and his first name is King.
Yes. Yes,
Thank
Your
you
Honor.
for clarifying that.
I just figured that would make the record a lot easier.
Yes, appreciate that. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So often you were saying?
It was I was dispatched to a drive-by shooting.
And that's what happened at Winding Way in Washington?
Yes.
Now, when you arrived on the scene, did you have occasion to speak with anyone?
Yes, the victim one of the victims on the report.
Do you recall which victim?
Oh, I don't remember his name.
What were you advised as to what happened?
When I arrived on scene, the victim, he was the younger one, I believe. He had a cut on his hand from the broken glass after receiving fire. So I had Fireside, come check him out. But
Who was Fireside?
Clayton County Fireside.
Is that the ambulance?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you said this person you spoke to had broken glass?
He had got a cut from the broken glass that came off the vehicle.
Okay, how'd the glass get broke?
From receiving fire.
Did you observe this vehicle?
Yes, I observed the vehicle.
What did you see?
Shattered glass from the rear right and the rear left of the vehicle, or should I say the back passenger and the back driver side of the vehicle. and bullet holes. I believe 5 bullet holes, 3 on the passenger side, 2 on the rear, on the back car.
Were the holes in the body of the car?
Yes, the 5 bullet holes were in the body of the car.
And the glass you're talking about, was that the windows of the car?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, where was this person that you spoke to? Where was he sitting in the car?
Uh, hmm. Uh, I'm not too. I want to say the um the back the back driver's side, but I'm not too sure.
Okay. Now, did you speak to the owner of the car?
Yes.
Do you know who that person is?
Not I can't remember.
Do you have your incident report handy?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, may he be allowed to refresh his recollection?
Yes.
No objection.
All right. Thank you.
Let me know when you're ready, officer.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Who's the owner of the vehicle?
Bobby Pittman.
Did Mr. Pittman, was he able to tell you anything about what happened?
No, he wasn't the one driving.
Okay. Did he give anyone permission to shoot up his car?
No, ma'am.
Was he able to give you an approximate value of the damage to his car?
Uh, he wasn't able to give an approximate, but he wasn't able to give it exact, but he gave me something I just can't remember. I gotta check my report again for the damage that I put on there.
Okay. Young May,
Refresh his recollection. Yes, officer, you may.
Okay, I'm ready.
okay. How much was the damage?
Told me 6,000.
Now, were other things damaged?
Um, I can only from what I knew and what he knew at the time, because the vehicle was held for CSI to come look at it, is the body of the car and the body of the car, because the bullets went through the vehicle, and then the windows.
Okay. And when I say other things, I'm sorry, I wasn't specific enough. What the car was shot up. Did anything else receive damage from the bullets? Any other
Oh,
cars, any other homes, anything like
yes. In the winding way lane intersection with, I forgot the intersection, but a bullet struck a nearby home. I don't remember the address, but it broke a window. It didn't go through, but it broke a window.
And was that victim able to give you an estimated damage to her home?
Yes, that was on another officer did that report. I can access it though to find it.
Okay. You don't have any recollection of what she said?
No.
Okay. Would it be over 500?
I, well, yes, it'll be over 500. That's why I put criminal damage.
Okay. Now, moving back, did you ever speak? How did King Thurston get involved in this?
So from all the information I got when I was on the call, the victim said something was going on between um I believe his name was like Javian. I can't remember. That's one of the victims' name, I believe. And he said something between those two, the King and the victim. So he came over their house with
Okay.
the
I
truck.
hate to stop you. Okay. The victim is someone you know of as Javion.
I believe the victim that had the cut on his hand. I think from when I seen it on the report, I think it's Javian.
Okay. And Javion had something to do with Mr. Thurston.
Yes.
Now, what happened between Javion and Mr. Thurston?
Now that I do not remember, but I do know that it led him to come over it led King to come over their house the day prior, just honking the horn.
And does King Thurston live in that area or on that street?
No.
So he came to the area.
Yes.
Was he still there when you got there?
No.
Okay. Did anybody in law enforcement have conversation with him?
I didn't, but yes, a law enforcement officer did finally get in contact with him.
And as a result of that conversation, do you know if he said anything regarding this incident?
Um, I only know what he told me, what he spontaneously uttered in the car when I was transporting him.
And that's Mr. Thurston we're talking about?
Yes.
What did he tell you in the car?
He said the only reason he shot back was because they shot at him first.
So he admitted shooting?
Yes.
Okay. And when he said they, who was he talking about?
He said they because he didn't know for sure which one I remember him saying that he thought it was Javian, but he said he wasn't too sure because they followed him down the road on Winding Way Lane, stopped their vehicle next to him, and then he believed he saw one of them open the door with a gun in their hand and they shot at him, so he shot back and sped off. That's what he said in the car.
What did the victim say?
The victims all victims said that they don't remember anyone shooting, nor do they remember anyone having a gun in the car.
In which car?
The red, I believe it's the red Kia Sportage, I believe.
That's the car that was shot up that
Yes.
belonged to Mr. Pittman?
Yes, and reading the supplemental of another officers, I found out that King's vehicle also had a bullet hole, but I don't know I don't know where because I didn't do that report. I just read it. I just read a little bit of it.
Okay. So you got 3 counts of aggravated assault against this gentleman, correct?
Yes.
Who were you able to make a determination of who the victims were on these counts of aggravated assault?
So, in my report, I put the victims as everyone but Bobby. I know JVN and the other two. I can't remember the other two. I put them as victims because he admitted to shooting, but I was unable to determine. So all the victims said they didn't shoot, but he admitted to shooting. So I put them as victims, but I was unable to determine if they were lying or not. CSI did a supplement to do gun residue and stuff, but I never got any of that back.
Okay, now these 3 victims we're talking about, were they all in the car, or was someone in the home that also received gunfire?
No, these 3 victims on my report, they were all in a car.
So that would be the Javion person and 2 other people?
Yes. I can go to my report to find them for you.
Please, Your Honor, may he be allowed to refresh his recollection?
Yes.
Okay, I'm ready.
And also, Your Honor, before you come back, there was a home that was damaged, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And can you look and get the name of that person, or do you recall that person's name?
I can go to the supplement, the associated case that the other officer did on the home to get it.
Your Honor, can he just do all this at one time and hopefully we won't have to backtrack no more?
Yes, officer, when you know you have court you need to review your reports prior to court. We shouldn't have to keep stopping for you to review your report.
Yes, ma'am.
Also, let me know when you're ready.
I'm almost done. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Now, who were the other two victims in the car?
The other two victims in the car was a Maisha Williams and a Erica Williams.
Okay. And there was
And
a, go ahead.
Javian is actually Javien, not Javion.
Okay. Do you recall his last name?
Davis,
Okay.
Davis.
So those are the three people in the car, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the person whose home was damaged, do you recall her name?
Her name is Shannon Yvette.
And she was the one that indicated that it would be over $500 to repair her home.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And we've already discussed Mr. Pittman, who owned the vehicle that Javian, Erica, and Maisha were in, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you know these conversations we've been talking about, were they recorded in any type of way?
It should be recorded on my body camera.
Excuse me?
It's recorded on my body camera.
And I believe you said some of these conversations were by other members of law enforcement.
Yes, ma'am.
Were they equipped with body cam?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you know what happened to all this body cam footage?
They were saved.
They were saved to, I guess, was it Clayton County PD?
Yes.
To the server?
I believe I just know the way we save it is just through Rocket. I don't know where it goes after that.
Okay, but you know it was saved.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And were any pictures or anything taken of the damage to the cars and to the home?
Yes, I put some of them on the report, but CSI took the actual pictures.
Okay. You were there when that was done, so you saw that happen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the conversation that you mentioned earlier regarding Mr. Thurston in the car, do you know if that was captured on body cam in any kind of way?
Car camera and body camera.
Okay. Do you know if any ring camera or anything like that was available?
No, nobody nearby had the footage of the incident.
Do you know if the weapon was recovered?
The weapon that was okay, so this is why I put in my report that I was unable to determine if because the victim was saying they didn't shoot, but King told me he did, but they shot back. King he shot a 40 caliber. I also found a 9mm on the victim's car, so I wasn't able to prove that they shot it, but I did take um I believe it was Erica's gun, which matched the mag that I found on the floor at the incident location.
So at least one of the victims also had a weapon herself?
That's what I believe after investigating, but they all were saying they didn't. But the magazine matched the weapon that I took and put into evidence.
The weapon that you said that Erica had, where did you recover that from her, or where did you find that?
I recovered that from her. She said it was in the house the whole time.
Okay, and is that where you found it, inside of the home?
Yeah, she brought it out.
Okay.
But
the weapon that Mr. Thurston had, what happened to it?
He disposed of it. He admitted to getting rid of it in I believe he said a swamp or a sewer, something like that.
So he said he threw it away,
Yes.
but he admitted having it.
Yes.
And all of this happened not inside of a house, but right out there on the street.
I can't remember the road, the intersection, but Winding Way Lane was one of the roads. It's another road that makes the intersection.
But it was right there on the street.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
But I know the house that it was in front of.
Okay.
Or near.
And all of this arose from a dispute between Mr. Thurston and JB and Davis. Is that your
Yeah.
understanding?
Yes.
And the other persons were not party to that dispute?
Um, I just know that it was between them, JVN and King.
Okay, so you know that for sure.
Yes, ma'am.
So Miss Barkley, who was in her house, doesn't involve her.
You said Miss who?
Miss was it Shannon?
Oh, no, Shannon, her house was hit with the crossfire.
That's what I'm saying. That's what happened. She didn't have nothing to do with it
Oh,
otherwise.
no, ma'am.
Okay. And I believe that's all I have reserved right for redirect.
All right, cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court. Good morning, Officer Paul.
Good morning.
As I understand it, and I missed one of the names, was there 3 or 4 people in the car where we're saying labeling them victims in that car? Were there 3 or 4?
It was JBN. It was 3.
Javion and 2 females?
Yes.
Okay, so you're saying that Bobby, you mentioned a Bobby,
Mm-hmm.
owner of the car, he was not there?
No, he was home.
He was home. What is his home right by the scene?
No.
Okay. So when you arrived, there was 3 people there.
When I arrived, they were so after the incident happened, they went around the block and went back home. And then that's where we arrived. That's when they all were speaking with us. Bobby was just in the background because he had nothing to do with it. It was just his vehicle.
So, well, let's be clear. According to the victims
Mm-hmm.
who may have lied to you,
Mm-hmm.
there was only 3 people in the car.
There was only 3 people in the car, yes.
According to the victims, according to who we're saying the victims are.
Yes.
Okay. But we don't have any video or anything like that that shows actually how many people were in the car.
No, we just only have a video showing that King's truck was there.
Okay. All right. I'll get back to that. And you spoke to all of these 3 witnesses / victims in a house. Is that correct?
No, we was in their driveway.
Okay. Fair enough. In a driveway, how long after the shooting?
I want to say it wasn't that long after. They went around the block and called the police, and that's when we responded.
Okay. When you interviewed them, you said it's on body cam. Were they separated and given individual statements, or did you speak to all of them together?
So when I first got on scene, I was speaking to Javian because I was trying to figure out if that injury he had was from the bullets, but he advised us from the glass. And then I went to the incident location, which is the intersection down the road. Another officer spoke with him. Then I came back and I separated my other officer did the same thing, but then I came back and I separated all 3 of them to get their statements as well.
Okay. And was gunshot residue tests were gunshot residue tests done on any of these 3 witnesses or Bobby?
Gunshot residue test was done on all 3 victims.
What about Bobby?
No.
Okay. Um, you said you got the history of what this might be about from Javion Davis exclusively, correct?
Yes, and I got history from King because he was telling me in the car.
Understood. I want to talk to you about what Javion said. Did Javion tell you that King was dating his ex-girlfriend?
Yes, from what I can remember, yes.
Okay. Was Javion forthright with you in the fact that he had been sending threats over the last month to my client, King Thurston, threatening to kill him?
No,
He didn't mention that.
no,
Um, did he tell you about how he'd been creating fake numbers and repeatedly blocked by his ex-girlfriend and King Thurston as he was continuing to harass him?
no,
Did he mention that?
no.
Okay. Mm. Now, all three of these individuals denied shooting a
Yes,
gun that day.
yes.
And they also, the females in the car, what were their relations to Mr. Davis as you understand?
If I can remember, I think it was grandma and I want to say mom or maybe mom. They were family. That's all I can know that. I know that for sure. They were family.
So
I know one of
Javion,
them. I
so
know one of them
Javion
was family.
Davis was claiming that he was driving around with his grandmother and his
He wasn't.
mother when this
He
happened.
wasn't driving. Grandmother was. No, one of it's either grandmother or mother, but he was not driving.
So they told you that it was grandmother, mother, and Javion in the car when this shooting happened.
If I can remember, it was either grandmother, mother, or what. I just know they're family. That's all I can remember.
Who was supposedly driving?
Erica was the one driving.
And who's Erica? The,
Uh, can't remember if it was his grandmother or his mother, but I do know they're family.
okay. And so they denied shooting, yet we found multiple bullet holes in Mr. Thurston's car, correct?
Well, I can't. I only know of one, but that's only from reading a report. I don't know because I wasn't the officer that was there with King and made the arrest. I wasn't there because I was on scene with the victims. I only know of the victim's vehicle because I was there to see everything.
I understood, but we've been talking about hearsay throughout this hearing, so I want to know, you're aware that officers saw Mr. Thurston's car
Hmm.
and they observed, you're saying at least one bullet.
That's from what I read from the report.
Okay. But you don't deny that there could be multiple bullets.
I can't answer that.
Okay. But either way, that would be inconsistent with the story that you got from Mr. Davis and his relatives.
No, yes, I am very aware. I stated in my report that I got multiple discrepancies from their statements.
Understood, and I appreciate that. So then, you also mentioned seeing a shell casing. Um, well, a shell casing. Mr. Thurston, you said, acknowledged that he shot a 40 caliber in self-defense, essentially.
Yes.
Okay. And the other parties said they never shot any guns, but you found a shell casing at the scene, correct?
Not on scene. I found a shell casing on their vehicle on the back of their vehicle windshield. So the vehicle was at their house, but that's where we found it at. But
Okay. When you say
that was a different caliber than what King shot.
understood, and when you say the back of the windshield, you're talking about inside the car.
No,
Um, where was it?
outside of the car. So you know how SUVs have those windshields, the windshield wipers on the back?
Yes.
The shell casing it was in between the car and the windshield wiper. So it's like it kind of went over the car and landed there.
Okay. And this 9 millimeter shell casing that was found, um, it matched at least the caliber of a magazine that you found.
That was found on scene. Yes.
When we say on scene, where was the magazine
Okay,
found?
so the on scene is the intersection of Winding Way Lane and I can't remember the cross street, but it was down the road from the victim's home. So the incident didn't happen at the victim's home, it happened at the intersection down the road. The
Right.
magazine was found on scene at the intersect where the shooting happened. That's where the magazine was found.
Okay. The magazine's found. Okay. Gotcha. And the magazine.
Yes.
Okay. Um. Now, did you search the inside of this What kind of car was Javian Davis in?
Kia Sportage.
Okay. Did you search the inside of the Kia Sportage?
For other shell
Shell
cases,
casings.
yes,
Yes.
we didn't find any other shell casings in
Okay.
it.
Fair enough.
And CSI
Um,
checked too, they didn't find any.
did CSI test the inside of that car for gunshot residue as far as you understand?
I can't answer that question. I don't know.
Fair enough. Um, you said there was no ring cameras at located. Were there any street cameras?
Okay, no. So the only ring camera footage we have was from the victims the day prior, proving that King was there with his truck, but this was the day before the incident happened. But down the road where the incident date down the road where the shooting happened, there was no footage.
Was there any incident, to your knowledge, the day before? You're saying that his truck was present.
The day before, it wasn't an incident, but the day before he was at their house just honking the horn and then he just left. That's from what the victim said, and it matched the video.
Fair enough. So there was no incident. He was present honking the horn,
Mhm.
from your understanding. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So did you recover any at the scene, or I guess anywhere else in this investigation, did you recover any projectiles, any bullets?
We recovered 40 well, I don't know if I can say bullets. I mean, I saw on the floor what looked like it could have been a bullet, most likely, but I can't say for sure. It could have just been something else. But I know for sure we found 40 caliber shell cases. That was the only shell cases we found where the shooting happened, and then a magazine.
The 9 millimeter.
Yes.
Okay. And so when you said you thought there might have been a bullet on the floor, but you weren't certain, when you say on the floor, what are you referring to?
On the street, in the middle where the shooting happened, it looked like could have been a bullet, but it could have been. I can't say for sure. So
Okay. And do you have an opinion about what caliber that, if it was a bullet, what that would have been?
no, I would
Okay.
not
Fair
be able
enough.
to determine that.
Fair enough. Um, there's a lady. Were you able to determine? And did you say? And I'm sorry, I don't recall your answer. Did you say Mr. Davis told you about the fact that my client is dating his ex-girlfriend?
I believe he did.
Did he give a name for that young lady?
No,
Okay, so to your knowledge, has anyone talked to her about what's been going on leading up to this incident?
to
Wait,
my knowledge,
counsel, hold on 1 minute. Deputy, why does Mr. Thurston have a cup to his mouth? All right, go ahead.
to, can you ask the question again?
It's a young lady named Camilla Doris.
Doesn't ring a
To
bell.
to your knowledge, has anyone spoken to her about what's led up to this incident?
To my knowledge, no,
Okay, so you're not aware of the threats that have been made against Miss Doris
no.
by
Your
Mr.
Honor, I'm going
Davis.
to object at this time. For the purposes of a probable cause hearing, threats made to a party who was not involved on the date of this incident are not relevant.
All right. I would allow it. Go ahead, but don't stay too long on this one. Go ahead. I'm
Well,
going to give you some leeway.
understood, Your Honor. I mean, so no one, to your knowledge, no one spoke to Miss Doris.
Well, I can't say to my knowledge, no one spoke to Ms. Doris. I'm not speaking on that. All I know is I didn't speak to her because I was not there.
Right. Okay. That's what I meant by to your knowledge. So you don't know if anyone's spoken to her. Okay. Um, Mr. Davis's cell phone, was that ever collected to see what he's been doing with his cell phone
Mm,
leading up to this?
I don't remember collecting the cell. I don't think we didn't collect the cell phone.
Okay.
We only had Mr. Davis and the victim side of the story. King
Right.
was not there to give his side of the story. I only got a small piece of his story from when I was transporting him and he was just telling me stuff in the car.
So Mr. Davis didn't tell you about the text message he sent to Miss Doris saying, "Tell your boyfriend I'm going to kill him"?
No,
That he'd be watching from behind the home across the street, waiting to kill him?
no,
Okay. Um, he never told you about reaching out after being blocked by Mr. Thurston, that texting "where you at, let's meet up and die"?
Yeah, I don't know if defense counsel is testifying on behalf of his client, but at this point in time, I'm going to object if for nothing else for relevance.
Yes, I'm going to agree. Attorney Swear, you're not asking questions at this point. At least not allowing him to answer.
Very well, Your Honor. Have we gotten the gunshot residue results back?
not that I haven't got anything back.
There's damage to a home that you mentioned.
Yes, yes.
What caliber projectile created that hole in the window? Do you know?
I don't know the excuse me. I don't know the caliber projectile because I couldn't find the bullet. I can't speak on well, I didn't know of a bullet that was found, but I do know that the bullet damaged the window. It was just hard to find it.
So we don't know if it was a 45, or excuse me, a 40 caliber or a 9
No,
millimeter.
okay, so from the scene where the 40 from the bullets that King shot, we know that it was him that did it because from where he said from when he told me he was firing in the direction he went, it was his bullets that struck the window.
Well, to be fair, we know that, well, there's strong evidence to suggest that other bullets were fired as well, correct?
I can only say for sure only one other bullet was fired, only because I found only one shell case. I found multiple shell casings for King.
Okay, but you're not aware of the multiple bullet holes in Mr. Thurston's car.
No. So I can
Okay.
only speak on one bullet.
So you don't really know whatever damaged Mr. Thurston's car. You don't know what direction those bullets came from because no
I
one's
mean, I
admitted to
can
shooting
I can
those
say
bullets.
I wouldn't say I know I don't know for sure if his car got received any damage besides reading the supplemental that I only seen one.
Well, one bullet hole.
Hmm.
Okay.
Bring in our legal analyst guest and see what she thinks might be happening at this time. Right now, and turning with me to call good morning. The defense counsel.
Okay. I don't think I have any further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Right, redirect.
I have no redirect at this time, just argument.
All right, closing arguments. ADA Thomas.
I reserve.
All right, go ahead and turn the floor.
Honor, with all due respect, this is a preposterous case. My client's, I understand that Officer Paul wasn't there, but hearsay is allowed. He's testified that officers that went to find Mr. Thurston observed his car. There were bullet holes in it. I submit to you that there were bullet holes, but the testimony is that there's at least one bullet hole in the car. The alleged occupants of the quote unquote victim car, um, I don't find a lot of credibility in the idea that Mr. Davis was with his grandmother and mother. Those individuals, I submit that there's strong evidence, I would say damning evidence, that those individuals were not being truthful with the officer. I think that's clear. I don't think that they were being clear with who was in the car. Um, and Mr. Thurston, it appears, in a spontaneous utterance, is the only one that's provided any insight in this case that has any ounce of credibility. And he acknowledged shooting in self-defense and told the officer that. And it squares away with the physical evidence in this case, which is that there's a shell casing that's jammed in between the windshield wiper and the rear windshield of a car. I would submit to you that the inference is that the rest of the shell casings were cleaned up from the inside of the car when they arrived home, but they clearly missed this one, thankfully.
Your Honor, I
Um,
would object that to the attorney's characterization or testimony regarding some type of cleanup or cover up or whatever it is he was trying to say, because none of that came in during the officer's testimony. All we know is that the officer found an additional bullet on that windshield of an SUV. There was no testimony as to the whereabouts or anything else.
This is my argument, Your Honor. I'm allowed to argue inferences.
You know, there was no inference.
Okay.
Overruled. Go ahead, Attorney Swart.
So I think that is an inference that can easily be drawn. People weren't truthful, and there's a reason they weren't truthful. There's a history here, and this is strong evidence of self-defense. I'm going to ask that you find no probable cause on the aggravated assault charges. The criminal damage charges, again, we have individuals claiming that no gun was fired, which is contradicted by the physical evidence. We don't know the criminal damage, what projectile caused the criminal damage. Certainly, if an individual is acting in self-defense, regardless of who shot the projectile, that would be a defense to criminal damage. Ironically, one of the allegations of criminal damage is to the car, where I believe that there's strong evidence to make the inference that the original shots were coming from. So I don't believe that there's probable cause in this case for the aggravated assaults or the criminal damage or the discharging of firearm, which is justified under our self-defense statute. So I'm going to ask Your Honor to dismiss those charges, all except for the tampering with evidence, I guess, because I do believe that there's probable cause for that at this point, even though I don't believe there's probable cause for a crime. There certainly was an investigation, and we acknowledge that. So that's my argument about probable cause.
All righty. Go ahead, ADA Thomas.
Your Honor, this wasn't the most polished presentation. However, what we do know from the officer's testimony is this. This young man brought himself to this area. He does not live there. He has no relationship with the parties that he ended up interacting with. There was a shootout on the street, during which time a vehicle occupied by 3 victims was shot up. The damage was extensive, as evidence was provided, as testimony was provided by the officer after his conversation with the owner of the car, who fortunately was not actually in it when it was shot up. There was also testimony from the officer regarding the homeowner, who was the inadvertent victim of the shootout, or I should say drive-by shooting, when her home was damaged, and she fortunately was not harmed, but she could have been. Your Honor, there was also testimony from the officer regarding this defendant admitting that he was there, admitting that he fired a weapon and shot up the home and the vehicle, and then acknowledging that he had disposed.
Your Honor, I'm going to object. That's a mischaracterization of the evidence. He didn't admit to shooting.
It was a direct
may I finish? May I finish? May I
ADA
finish?
Thomas, let him do his objection. Go ahead, and then I'll let you
It's a
respond.
mischaracterization of evidence. He did not admit to shooting anything up. He admitted to firing in self-defense after being fired upon.
Your Honor, may I be allowed to respond?
Sorry?
May I be allowed to respond?
Yes, please.
And when he was firing, and what he alleges as self-defense, he struck a vehicle, damaging the windows, damaging the body of the car, and also causing a bullet to go into the home, at least one, possibly more, to go into the home of the victim, who had absolutely nothing to do with this matter. Your Honor, regarding the charges, that puts us at the 3 aggravated assaults He acknowledged having a weapon, which he disposed of, which is a tampering with evidence. I'm trying to go down the calendar, y'all, to make sure everything's good. He acknowledged firing a weapon on the street, as I asked the officer, just to be sure all this happened, not inside of a house, not at a park, this happened on the city street. And he also acknowledged damaging. The officer was able to make a determination that the damage to the vehicle was over $6,000 and that the damage to the home was in excess of $500. State would contend that at this point that there's sufficient probable cause to transfer this case in its entirety to the Superior Court of Clayton County.
All right. So I think you said it best, ADA Thomas. Well, not best. You made a light comment that the presentation of this case. I am actually very disturbed by the presentation of this case and the investigation of this case. But there's nothing more concerning to me than young men shooting at each other. But it looks like and sounds like that's what we have, endangering other people's lives. So although I'm hesitantly minding this case over because the presentation and the investigation, I do find that there is sufficient probable cause. This is a low threshold. I do find that there's sufficient probable cause to bind all the charges over to the Superior Court of Clayton County. But I caution you, Officer Paul, the next time you come to court, I need you to be prepared. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, that's the order of the court.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, may I ask a question?
Yes.
And if Miss Thomas Stanley is present, I didn't receive notice today, and I know we're scheduled for a bond hearing on Friday. I received notice. I'm sorry, I was having very great difficulty getting the Zoom information, and I'm not showing up on the calendar, even though I filed into the case. So I'm just trying to figure out how I can make sure I get that Zoom information for Friday for the bond hearing.
It'll be the same Zoom,
Same numbers and everything?
same everything.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. And so, and Attorney Sweat, you know that even prior to Friday, you can reach out to ADA Thomas and try to get something worked out prior to Friday.
I got the link. I'm the one that gave him the link for this morning, Your Honor, but if this link is still good, he should still be able to access it through the email that I sent him. It's going to be the same one?
Same one.
Okay. He has it.
All right. Have a good day.